Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is Nick here, back with a brand new video. Today we're going to be recording at about 3:30 a.m. That's right, 3:30 a.m. on a beautiful night here in Pennsylvania. It's currently 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Love it totally. Right now everything is looking juicy in the market. Right now XRP is sitting under 90 cents. Not much movement overall. We go over to the coins tab, we can see that Bitcoin is almost at that $37,000 range. It did hit 37,000 for a little bit of time, but it didn't really hold too much. It's totally okay, not too much integrity there. Like I said, I'm not expecting Bitcoin to go to parabolic highs just yet. It's going to take a little bit more time. We see that the market cap has been trading a little bit sideways for quite some time. Since May 23rd, actually. So it's just a boring market overall right now. I wish it wasn't so. I wish that there was a lot more price movement, but hey, it is what it is. Bitcoin dominance is ranging a little bit higher here, almost at 43%. So we are seeing alts kind of sit stagnant. It's kind of, like I said, it's just kind of boring. I mean, it's boring sideways trading. But hey, it is what it is. XRP still up year to date. 346%. Can't really argue that. I'm happy with that overall right now. Currently, anyone who was buying back here is still up significantly, especially if you were buying in January when it was around 25 cents or so. But this is what I want to say, right? We look at most assets in this class that are also at these levels right now, like HBAR, right? Because you guys already know HBAR is one of my main holdings. So I talk about assets that I hold that I'm very happy with overall. XRP is definitely one of those assets. So let's get into the juiciness. Let's get into why you click this video. We are talking about XRP being undervalued and very suppressed, right? So let's look at this, right? So this right here, you can't see these names in the background unless you pretty much screen cap it very quickly. I actually did that for us, right? So these are all the main partnerships of Ripple. These are their customers. These are their clients overall. Now we see a lot of names here. First and foremost, a few that jump out to me: Bank of America, of course, American Express. We see Lulu Exchange, Tranglo, Santander, SCB, Neum, Standard Chartered, Azimo, SBI. A few of these I'm not too aware of, or I'm not too involved in, I should say. TransferGo is a big one. Navanti, we've talked about Navanti a little bit. Ind Bank, I don't know too much about, but it is a huge bank overseas. I do know about that. We also see Rack Bank. The main reason why I bring this up is because this is 55 plus countries worldwide, hundreds of financial institutions, and the reason why I'm talking about this is we're still under scrutiny of the SEC, and we've been talking about this SEC case for what seems like forever now. Anybody who is in XRP and a long-term holder is probably growing tiresome of listening to the SEC's terrible arguments, their terrible defense overall. It seems like they have nothing on us, right? They have nothing on us. They don't know what to do, and now they're trying to extend this case out 60 days to, find some evidence or dig somewhere. They don't want to give the documents to the judge. They denied it twice already. I mean, this is getting juicy. This entire month, like I said, is a huge month for Ripple overall, but also it's huge for anybody who is holding XRP as well. Now, we do got this article here. Now, I want to talk to you guys about this article a little bit, right? This is Ripple stuck with SEC as American bankers go against CBDCs. I think at some point in time, right, we need to have a CBDC. It's not, hey, it's a choice if we can or not. We need it. And the reason why we do need it is because at the end of the day, we're stuck with this idea of, hey, China, India, etc. are all building these CBDCs, and we're going to be pretty much left in the dust if we don't have one. So for America to go against, I should say American bankers to go against CBDCs is just kind of idiotic in my opinion. Yes, I do get it. You don't want to be on the full-on radar overall when transacting, but this isn't talking about bankers in terms of us individuals. This is talking about bankers in general, right? We see the ABA named no names, but seems to be pointing fingers at many distributed ledger technology firms that are offering their services to develop CBDCs. This goes hand in hand in terms of the XRP ledger. We actually see that here, right? We see the ABA named no names, but seems to be pointing fingers at many distributed ledger technology firms that are offering their services to develop CBDCs. These include R3's Corda, Ethereum, Stellar, Hedera, again, FPOS. I don't know how to pronounce this fully. I do know a few people were telling me about it, but I hope that I said it right. And then we also have Ripple's private version of the XRP ledger. Now, we do know that the CBDC technology is similar technology of the XRP ledger, so it would be very easy to implement. At least that's what I read in a few articles. We kind of did a dive into that a little bit overall. But what's very interesting overall about this, this entire article is the fact that it's not just XRP for once. It's also Hedera, Ethereum, Stellar. There's a lot of names out there that they're really kind of pinpointing. But the thing is that at the end of the day, I don't think that these individuals or these bankers understand how big of a case CBDCs are. Now, of course, we knew that banks, or I should say bankers, were going to be against CBDCs overall, because at the end of the day, it's cutting out the middleman, which is banks at the end of the day. So pretty much what's going to happen is the Federal Reserve is going to be the main bank, or the chartered bank, if you will, for CBDCs that run over the XRP ledger, which, of course, be traded across the border to other CBDCs overall. Now, like I said, this is very bullish in my sense, because we are seeing a lot of constraints being, given to XRP and the XRP ledger. We've seen it all year long, including the SEC case. And at some point in time, we're seeing, while the ABA sees no viable use case for the digital dollar, the European Central Bank is pursuing a digital euro within the next 5 years. ECB's Panetta has proposed a plan that limits each citizen's wallet to 3,000 euros. So a lot of these, in my opinion, America, I don't understand why we wouldn't want a CBDC. It's going to help us scale at greater heights. It's going to decrease inflation rates. It's also going to be a lot faster and cheaper to move. So it would just be dumb to not implement this overall. But like I said, a lot of these articles, I completely disagree with this article first off, but a lot of these articles are pinpointed to really make you guys think and be like, well, maybe what I'm holding is kind of useless. We kind of seen this before with a few other articles as well, and it's just, in my opinion, it's all a distraction away from what the true value is here. And that's why I want to talk to you guys about this, right? So we see all these banks here, 55 plus countries, like I said, hundreds of financial institutions. We already know, and we see what their use cases is. You can pretty much see what's happening here if you wanted to. I'm not going to read too much about that. We already kind of did a dive into that. But this is what I was talking about. This is cross-border payments. So this isn't initially involving XRP. This isn't, XRP, front-facing articles or anything like that. But this is talking about the market for cross-border payments. Now, this is where it gets interesting, where a lot of people are saying, well, XRP will never hit $1 trillion in terms of market cap. Assets will share market cap in terms of this market, because Hedera and Ripple are doing incredible things. ALBT is going to have a hand in the pot, and there's also a few other assets in this class that are doing incredible things. Now, this is what I'm talking about, right? In the brief, the trillion-dollar cross-border payment sector is ripe for disruption due to changing customer demands, emerging market growth, and financial inclusion. This entire statement here, first off, from pretty much this on, is a key aspect to really think about, because Ripple will disrupt this entire sector. And if we read here, global cross-border payment flows are expected to reach $156 trillion by 2022. This trillion-dollar cross-border payments market is being shaken up by a rush of new entrants, that promise to solve long-standing pain points. Incumbent banks and money transfer operators, MTOs, will need to consider the impact of these changes on future strategy. And I know for a fact, that they're not, telling us, but the new entrants that are here to promise and to solve these problems, It's exactly what Ripple's doing. It's exactly what Ripple's doing. They are here to solve these massive problems. I shouldn't say we've talked, but we've seen Brad Garlinghouse talk about this and how they are going to reinvent the wheel here. And if they disrupt a $156 trillion market, right? Now, if we come over here to CoinMarketCap, we know that 100 billion is in total circulation supply. Now, we do know that, or in total supply, sorry, circulating supply is about 46 billion. But I want to know if you guys think that if we take the full total supply, we'll just say 100 billion, right? And if it gets, all right, at $156 trillion for this entire market, right? If it gets just 10% of that, that would be $15.6 trillion that it would gain in terms of market cap. Now, what would that price be, right? The price at about $15 trillion would be $150 for XRP. And that's only at 10% of this payment flow overall. Now, this market is ever growing. It's a $1 trillion market. Why XRP will most likely hit $1 trillion plus in market cap, but I think it could reach at some point in time $15 trillion in terms of market cap because of what it's doing, the tech behind it, and the overall structure of the project scope. Now we see here, this is pretty much the cross-border payment structure. Now this is the typical cross-border payment structure, I should say. So we see users, sender country A, business A, consumer A, front-end banks. This is why it takes so long, right? This is why it takes so long to move financial assets over, these networks. Now they are using Swift. I talked about how Swift it moves $5 trillion a day overall. And this is why it takes so long, and this is why it's so costly, because it's not just one-to-one. That's why the XRP ledger, like I said, is going to help this overall. Now, I don't know. I wish that I could see. 1 second. Let me see if I could find a good representation on how this will work. 1 second. All right, so I found a perfect. This is actually from Ripple Labs overall. Now, this is today's relay processing. This is that 2 to 4 day processing time. We see sending bank, central counterparty, sending correspondent / liquidity provider, receiving correspondent, central counterparty, and then receiving bank. This is the entire process. This is why it takes so long. Now, this is Ripple's way. Sending bank, USD to Euro. It pretty much, just kind of converts it overall. Liquidity provider A, liquidity provider B, and receiving bank. 3 to second processing time fully. This is why Ripple is changing the game. This is why it will be massively adopted at some point in time. That's why I think that it's going to disrupt this market. And we see $156 trillion expected global cross-border payment flows in 2022. That is why when we talk about XRP reaching these astronomical prices of $150 plus, it's really not that unlogical when we're seeing, something like this. I mean, even technically speaking, right, at $156 trillion, right, even if it got 5% of the entire market, just 5%, which is a small amount considering what Ripple's doing, it'd be about $7.8 trillion. Now, when we look at fully diluted market cap, we're talking about the entire, total supply. Now, we don't typically do that, but I'm going to tell you guys right now, if we were to reach that $7.8 trillion market cap, it would be about $78 fully diluted. We're not talking about the actual circulating supply, because if we were, it would be much higher. But we're going to go off of total supply to make people happier. Now, we do see a lot of these business-to-business transactions expected to account for 150 trillion, consumer to business, 2.8 trillion, business to consumer, 1.6 trillion, and then we also see consumer to consumer is about 0.8 trillion in 2022. So this is going to ever grow. It's going to ever prosper. Like I said, we talked about this a lot. I mean, here is the growth accountability. Currently, right now, 2021, we're about $148.3 trillion. Like I said, it's about to grow to 156 trillion in 2022, and this is on the rise. This is going to continuously rise because the more and more businesses that come up, the more and more market demand it is for cross-border payments and the entire structure overall. But let me know what you guys think about this, because I do think that $150 plus is very achievable for Ripple for what they are gonna, be solving and pretty much helping. Especially when we look at something like this, when we take the old structure and reinvent the wheel and kind of do something like this, where we're seeing those cross-border payments be settled in 3 to 5 seconds, as more scalable and also at cheaper rates as well, which would be huge. And like I said, that number one payment structure, that business to business, businesses want to save money, and they will utilize something like Ripple Tech to save money to scale at higher rates. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm very bullish on XRP. I think $150 could be achievable, definitely long term. Not this bull run, but long term. But anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, leave a like, subscribe, and turn notifications on. If you guys do want more free content, you guys can follow me on Twitter at NCashOfficial. And you guys could also join the Discord down in the description below for free. Nonetheless, I hope that you guys are having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out.